And hi, everybody. Thanks again for joining us on Edric Poon and Company and In Company this week. Thank you very much. I'd like to bring in a very, very good friend. He's the host of Mouth Bouts with Unkkle Ron. He's also an MMA champ. He also fixes luxury watches or works with one. And, basically, he's a martial arts guy. So he's going to share with us the art of getting shit done. Subscribe. Hey Ron, how are you?
Hey Edric, how are you doing, man? Can I still joke on your podcast? Is it all serious?
Of course, please. This podcast isn't serious. I've been saying this for
Oh,
weeks already. Nobody's listening, so it's okay.
it's martial art, man. It's kung fu. A chang, chang.
For those who are listening, this guy has done everything, and he's good with his hands. Whether or not it's craftsmanship or putting it in somebody's face. But this guy gets shit done, and that's why I wanted you on, Ron, because you're gonna teach us the art of getting shit done today.
That's a very good compliment, but you need to understand. As you say, I've been hustling for so long and still no results. So obviously, I'm not the right person to give to give success tip, man.
That's totally not true. Now, come on. You're a family man, okay? You got 2 kids, all right, and you've made it through with so many things. But what I really like, maybe to just get a little bit more about your story is after school, after the army, where'd you head to, and those days and nights, that you were just trying to make things work. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Wow. Okay. How much time we have? It's gonna be a messy story. Let me give you the TLDR version. After the army, I went to work. I actually went to school in Singapore Poly. Big shout out to my friends back in Singapore Poly days. Chemical life sciences. I was a chemistry guy, so I worked in a lab for a year as a technician. And I discovered that that's not the life for me. So lo and behold, in my infinite wisdom, I decided to do a degree. And out of all the degrees I could pick, I picked the most vanilla, the most general of generalists. I could pick a bachelor in business management. You cannot get more generic than that. Any more generic, it would be like a degree in plain A4 paper already. So because I'm not trying to downplay the degree, it's because I was already not certain what I do. So instead of like considering carefully what to do, I just decided to study. I went to do business. So it just gives me more clarity because doing a business degree gives you more variety, which is something I actually didn't need.
You were looking for options, lah. Basically, you didn't know what the hell you
Yeah.
wanted to do, is it?
Anything other than work, so
But in the end, what'd you do with that business degree?
absolutely nothing. I went. If you don't look at what I do now, I'm in a technical role. So 3 years of education. Bye bye.
No, but look, you had a day job, right? That time around, right? And you ended up going toward running a gym for a while, and then you ended up coaching MMA, right? Which you are still doing now, to what I understand.
Muay Thai actually. Yeah,
Muay
but
Thai.
mostly Muay
Okay,
Thai.
okay. Then at the same time, you also didn't talk about your exploits in the nightlife.
Yeah. So after I graduated, okay. So back to the story. After I graduated, I went to try my hands like a fresh grad. I went to attempt sales marketing actually, for a big Japanese company that starts with a S and N for Y, 4 letters. Then I did that for a while, but again, not my life. So I had an option to go into the nightlife. So I decided to give it a shot. I was working the door for a year and a half ish at a club called Butter Factory. For those who've been there before, it was pretty hot club in the past. So I worked the door as a guest relation. Then I asked for a transfer back to corporate side for business development. Again, the trend you're going to see is whenever I go back to a corporate setting, I struggle with it a lot. So we will touch on that later, I'm certain. After that, I got opportunity to move out because I wanted to move the nightlife industry because of the saying, you be in the industry long enough, you become the industry. So I wanted to attempt something else, and it's not that the nightlife industry or the hospitality industry is bad. It's just that it's very the market turnover is very fast. You can be very popular today and be closed tomorrow. So I at that point in time, I was already I had a kid, So I wanted more stability in my life. So I got opportunity to go into sales, first with automation, and then IT sales, mainly startup products. Then I got opportunity again. Again, sales is not my thing. I was roped in to help a friend out. Went in to manage operations for a gym, and after that, I left the gym and am in the current company now, which is a Swiss watch company, luxury brand. Yep. So that's the too long didn't read version.
Right. So the most important thing right now is that it took you a while to actually find your passion, right?
Yeah, it took me quite a while. I think from graduate, I left the army by 2006. So I'm with my firm, will be 4 years next year. So 2016. So around 10 years before I end up with where I am right now.
Right. And you feel that you're passionate in this industry, lah. But also one thing is that how I also noticed that you seem to be balancing it out very nicely with your side hustles, if you wanted to call it that, plus your other training and your lifestyle, lah. So what I actually wanted to also explore a little bit more is that if you could guide somebody who's listening right now to basically find their passions, right? How do you think you'd be able to just actually just give them very simple advice?
Well, I think there's many layers to that. Firstly, on the point of passion, just to give you some input. I won't say I'm very passionate at my job now. I've reached a point in my life where I should say that I do not dislike work. Neither do I go to work seeking satisfaction or growth. You know, to me, work is a necessary part of life. It allows me to live the way I am, and I do not dislike work. Sometimes I do enjoy it, but I don't go there looking for self-actualization. So to answer your question, uh, at the end of the day, everybody got the same 24 hours. How you balance your life really depends on how you want to do it. I should say you can only cut up the pie so many ways. So if you want to have a bit more of here, you need to cut away a bit more of the other side. So the saying that you can't have your cake and eat it is really very true. To people who needs advice, I'll always say that nobody gets it right on the first try. So I cannot fault you for failing or trying many different things, but I cannot encourage you to not try, or not trying almost guarantee no results at the end. It's
Mhm.
confirmed no result if you don't try. Nobody has grown a tree without planting seeds. So the goal is, if you excuse my pun, sometimes you really need to spread your seeds around everywhere.
So says the person with 2 children. Well done, sir.
Yeah, so
With the same woman, lah, I'm assuming.
of course.
Well, because you're talking about spreading your seed everywhere, so if we're taking it in such a literal sense. Anyway, when you're talking about like all these passions and all that, right now, why apart from just a day job, yes, that pays the bills to some extent. But now look, you're also doing a podcast, and you're doing this thing called the Stronghold Challenge. Basically, you're waking up at 5 a.m. to get shit done early in the morning. Now, what inspired you to start all of this?
Well, the podcast has always been a hobby of mine. I always wanted to give it a shot. I would say, in certain sense, I'm also trying to diversify my portfolio and see what other opportunity there is. The world is getting more wired up. So at times we need to move away from the traditional thinking. As I say, it's a hobby, so I just want to give it a try. Well, for the Stronghold Challenge, actually was initiated by my pals, Lucas Leisure, who also is the host of the Stronghold podcast with Lucas Leisure. So I think he wanted to initiate that as a challenge for us, and also for him to create awareness for the gym. And there was actually a prize in the end. But because of COVID, everything was put on hold. But whereas for me, since I already started on the challenge, I thought just might as well continue. And I actually put in quite some amount of work into building up the social media awareness for myself. So I decided, why not just continue and see how far it goes. So that's mainly it. The reason why I'm doing it at 5 a.m. is mostly because I don't have time in the evening. I do my freelance work in the evening. I try to spend more time with my kids in the evening. So as I said, there's only so many slices you can cut of pie. So work take up a big part. Whatever left, you give it to the family and my side hustle. Then so the next best time for me to go to the gym without taking out family time and work time is early in the morning, very early. So yeah, so that's why I go to 5 a.m. in the morning. And
So what do you?
also, yep, sorry,
No,
go
no,
for
no,
it.
sorry. Please carry on.
Yeah, so it was never really part of my thought. I always wanted to do it at 5, but after a while, it became more like a personal challenge for me to wake up early. It's form of discipline, uh, to touch on some of the guys, like David Goggins and Jocko Willings, who wakes up. Jocko Willings, I wake up. If you look at his Insta, his watch always like 4:15, 4:30. He's working out already. So all these guys that wake up very early, and you seem to get a sense of, in certain sense, achievement and peace when you wake up very early to work out. It's very hard, but um, as I said, there's a sense of satisfaction there, and of the runner's high, the feel of euphoria after you run, or the good feeling you get after workout. So it's pretty nice to start your day with something hard and finish it and feel good and go to work. Yeah. So that's basically it.
Yeah, but Jocko Willing and David Goggins, I mean, these are super intense guys, right? But I can see why you are such, an avid follower of them, if you wanted to say that, because they get shit done. There are no excuses, but what do you pick up from them that you think that everybody should actually follow?
Uh, I think overall, really, it's just to get things done. You don't have to be as intense as them. I won't say I'm very intense, just that I try to maintain a more disciplined lifestyle. But at the end of the day, the thing is, you need to set a goal for yourself, realistic goal, and just try to achieve it. That's basically it. I think a lot of times we get so caught up with day-to-day life, we get so caught up with everything else, but sometimes you don't set time for ourselves for self-improvement or doing something difficult. That's the main thing. Because everything is so instantaneous now. You need an answer, you go online to find. We are in an instant gratification society now. Everything is just like a Google away, a check away. So at times I feel that we do lose the warrior mindset, the go out and get things done mindset. Yeah.
Okay, what is this warrior mindset you talk about?
I think mainly it's just to go out and get things done. Doing difficult stuff. Uh, okay, workout is when you go and work out, is something that's very personal, very primal. There is no shortcut to it. There's nobody else that can do it for you. So you have to go out and do it yourself. And that's something which I do think we still have this mindset, but we sometimes we tend to neglect it, especially in a physical fitness or health sense. And it ties into a more like a spiritual and self-motivation sense, because working out is not easy. I mean, you can go and do a shit job and oh, can I curse? Beep.
Go ahead,
You
please.
can go
YouTube,
and
fine.
yeah, you can go out and do like a half a big job and not do very well, but you won't feel very good after that. And to be very honest, there are times where I wake up and I give myself flack because I snooze too long, or like when I plan to go for a longer run, if I plan to go for a run in the evening, I will be like anxious the whole day and dread the moment when I finish work and go for a run. But I still force myself to do it. Uh, a lot of times,
Sorry, we lost you there. Yeah.
or harder situation to grow. Yeah. So that's what I talk about a warrior mindset. It's not so much about going. I don't see it as like going out do martial art. It can be one aspect, but discipline. Uh, if you like to paint, setting a time every day you paint for an hour, that can be a warrior mindset. Like if you like play music, coming home and practice on your instrument for an hour, half an hour every day. That's discipline.
Hmm.
It's something which sometimes I do feel is lacking. People, including myself, I used to give up very easily. I mean, if things doesn't work out, then I just say that it's not from. If you could see from my job path that if things don't work out, I just move to the next one. What's the foul in that? Everybody move jobs all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you suddenly had this switch in your mindset. I mean, I realized it as well. I mean, to some extent, maybe it comes with a certain level of maturity. We grow up a little bit more.
Oh, screw that shit!
Just a little bit more.
Still watching SpongeBob.
Like, you got kids, it's okay. The whole Peppa Pig and the SpongeBob thing goes on. Yeah.
An eternity later.
And then 2 hours later. Anyway, whoever lives in a pineapple under the sea, I think it deserves a lot of credit too, for his dedication at the Krusty Krab. But if I could interview SpongeBob, I think that would be fun. As maniacal as that sounds, it's actually quite fun, I'm sure. Now, about the whole dedication in the warrior code and the warrior mindset that you were talking about, right? Now, when did you start? As in, there has to be, do you feel that there's actually this like moment that you wake up and you go, look, I gotta get this thing done. I gotta change that life. Are you about that life now?
I would say it was it's a consolidation of a lot of things, and there's one thing that triggered off lah. So this thing has been talked many times in my podcast, but mainly because one, I decided to quit drinking like around last year. So the decision to quit drinking first started the whole try to keep a healthier lifestyle thing. By not drinking already, I already freed up a lot of time
and money.
Finances. So that is one thing, because staying off the drinks is actually, surprisingly for me, it's quite easy. I would say not drinking is easy, but moderation is hard for me. I don't do moderation. Okay, so that's one thing, not drinking. Then so when I did it was actually Luke who suggested the Stronghold challenge, the fitness challenge, which in the first place I was very reluctant to join because the terms was very, how should I say, ambiguous. There's no clear terms. The winner will be decided who has the most physical. Even till today, I still feel there's no clear terms, because the winner will be decided who has the most significant physical appearance improvement. I always tell you, like, what the excuse me, what the what the fish is that? so anyway, what triggered off was this is a real conversation. The guys know about this. I'm not sure if I share with you, but it's a pretty funny story. So knowing the fact that I only do 0 or 100, I don't do in between. I was telling Luke and Steven, because Luke owns and manages a gym called Stronghold MMA, and Steven actually managed a gym called Slingshot. Big shout out to both of them. I was saying that, look, you guys work in the gym, and if to your viewers who have never been in the fitness industry, gym hours are a bit different. I mean, it's kind of like a retail hours, but there are certain hours that are busy. So maybe if you're lucky, you do an early morning crowd, maybe 7 or 8 to 10. Then you stop. 12 to 2 is like your lunchtime crowd that comes in. Then you, between 2 to 4 or 5 is normally the lull period, because everybody's at work. If you have kids class or children class, they don't come in maybe 3 or 4 o'clock. Then 5 onwards, always a peak period to 10, and weekends are busy. So I told them, look, you guys work in a gym, you have, I work normal hours, I got kids. So it's very hard for me to train, because I start work, even before COVID, I start work at 8, I finish 5:30. At night, I might have to work, spend time with my kids, so on and so forth. So it's very hard for me to squeeze in more time to train. I don't think it's fair competition. So Luke was like saying, what are you saying? We work too? I say, yeah, but you all have lull periods in between the time where you can train, and you work in the gym. So your workplace is the gym. They say, wow, that's just excuses. Sound like you don't want to train and you don't do anything. We work hard too. So to most people will be say like, don't bother about it. He's just trying to egg you on. But me, again, in my infinite wisdom and warped brain, immediately I tell him, look, Luke. Initially, I was going to train to win, but because of your comment, you put me in a dark place. I'm going to train and to die. I'm prepared to collapse in the gym if I have to. so that kicked off the whole waking up at 5. Initially, when I first started, I didn't even have a gym membership. I found this gym called Gym Pods, where you pay per hour. And
It's the one with the containers, right?
yeah, the containers. I
Hmm.
started that for 2 weeks, and then I found that if I was going to do it frequently, because I go again gym pods, I really decided that I was going to do 5 to 6 or 5:30 to 6:30 or something like that. Really early morning, off peak hours. So I did the math. If I'm doing like 3 times a week plus the challenge for 10 weeks, it will equal to me paying the same amount, maybe slightly cheaper for one of those 24-hour gyms. So I decided, and because it's a container, the equipment there is enough, but not enough to get you a bit more. So
Mm.
that's why I started to look in the 24-hour gym and decided to join one. So with that, it kicked off the whole like training, and somewhere along the line, uh, doing difficult things and achieving them will slowly change your mindset, and you start to see things differently. So that kind of that was a very long story to share how it kicked off the whole change in mindset lah. I guess the short version is I moved from one compulsion, which is drinking, into another compulsion, which is working out and doing difficult things right now.
Well, I think what you exhibited was turning a negative energy or emotion into a very, very positive outcome.
Somewhat positive lah. I mean, I was prepared to train to die. I don't think that's very positive.
Well, see, well, either what was that? What was that about? You're dying free or something like that.
I don't know. Is it what? Which one is it? Either the Batman one where you either die the hero or live long enough to see yourself becoming a villain, or is it the other one? It's better to die on your feet than to live on your knees.
Whatever it is, you just go out on your sword and that's it, lah.
Yeah.
Or go out on your shield, don't go out on your sword. That's suicide.
Uh,
That's a bit different.
yeah. So that's how it kickstarted the whole thing lah. I think the biggest challenge for me again is still trying to work on moderation. That's
Right.
basically it.
And how are you adapting this mindset into other things in your life right now?
Uh, Basically, it just I think the biggest issue that I won't say issue. Okay, the biggest point that I see is I do see that nothing can hold me back. I mean, in the past, I kind of had like a woe is me mindset as I gave up easily. I always thought that I did not have the ability or the skill set to achieve certain tasks. Now more or less it came to me that I was the one holding myself back. So as I said, doing difficult things show that almost anything is possible. Of course, I don't think I'll be able to slam dunk. I'm not I'm not cut out for it, but everything requires a lot of work and putting in effort.
Mm.
So that's the main mindset change that if I set my mind to it, I will say that if I set my mind to it, I can achieve anything. Whether can I do it very very well, very efficiently is another issue, but I know that I can do it. Yeah,
Right.
that's,
Okay.
that's
Okay.
basically that's basically a mindset of that nothing can hold me back. Only the only thing holding back is myself. So the enemy is actually the one you see in the mirror every day.
Mm. So, I mean, that's the I think that's the biggest thing, right? Now you no longer have that self doubt because a lot of the time we just go like, it's that one voice, right, that just goes, maybe tomorrow, or I don't know whether I can do this. I don't know whether people will like what I do, you know. So, when it comes to that, right, what's that internal dialogue, that you have now? I mean, back then it. I think a lot of us face it, right, that internal dialogue. But what is it right now when you hear it? What do you actually say?
I think to give it context, I think Joe Rogan and even David Goggins call your inner bitch. So
Yeah.
basically, your inner mind will tell you like, don't do it, you're tired, rest today. Then the other voice will be like, forget it, man, I'm just going to do it. I'll do it and deal with it later. Again, there must be some degree of intricacy, nuance here. There are times where I do push myself too hard and I borderline risk injury, or I
Mm.
don't put a lot of thought into it. So that is one thing that, again, working on moderation. But mostly it's just telling myself if I'm very, okay, there's degrees of tired. If I'm like, I do recognize that I'm very tired, that is there's borderline kind of high risk of injury, then okay, I say maybe I should take a break. But most of the time, if it's just like plain old lazy tired, I say okay, then I have to do it. Then the more I'm reluctant to do it, the more I have to do it. Even for my current job, just a story to share that there are certain tasks that I used to hate, and I'll put it aside, procrastinate when I first joined the company, and I'll just leave it there and deal with it another day. But once I started this switch, it was more like the things that I don't like, I'll take it and do it first. So once it comes, immediately I'll deal with it and do it first. So that's basically the inner dialogue. I look, if you don't like it, the more you have to do it now. You cannot set it for later. You need to overcome it. And by doing that, I do notice that the task actually becomes easier. Although I still hate it, but it doesn't become like a thorn in my flesh anymore. Yeah, so that's basically the main shift mindset.
Interesting school of thought, because it seems like there are two camps. One of them is, oh, I'll do the small ones first, so that at least I can feel those wins, and then I will slowly get the small wins and build my way up, right? But yours, on the other hand, right, is you find the biggest wall, you break it down first, so the rest of them seem like it's nothing.
Yeah, I think both is fine. I think it would be more optimum for everybody to start the small win first, because it's not everybody that say that because of what you say, I'm prepared to train and die in the gym. I need to give that context. So it's good to start the small win first. I mean, you don't need to be as intense as the guys that we talked about, but you really need to start on something more bite-sized. I like to use the analogy of cake because I like cake. If I was to tell you that I'm going to put a very big cake in front of you and say, okay, finish it now. Most likely, one, you won't be able to finish it, or you become so overwhelmed you give up. But if I tell you that you can finish it over a period of time, but you must finish it by this day, so it makes it easier because you take small bite-sized pieces and slowly work towards it. Then once you accomplish this, it becomes easier and the timeline can get shorter for next time. So you need to set small wins in your life to encourage yourself. What David Goggin called cookie jar. He uses this because I read his book, Can't Hurt Me. So the concept about a cookie jar, which I think is really good, is you need to have accumulate all these small wins and keep it like a for lack of a better term, like cookie, like a cookie. A cookie is like an encouragement to yourself. So keep it in the cookie jar of all your small wins. Anytime you're feeling down or you need to achieve something difficult, like halfway through, you can go in and take out one of these cookies as a form of encouragement for yourself. Say, look, I achieved this in the past. It was supposed to be a big issue for me, but I overcome it. So this issue is going to be like any other issue that I will overcome. So start with small wins, but also set some bigger goals, because we can't live all on small wins all the time. After that, we become very easily being contented is good, but being overly easily contented is not so good, because everything is makes you happy lah.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I mean, you can't keep enjoying shabu beef. From time to time, you just want that big ass steak. You know what I mean?
Yeah, something along that line.
Yeah. Well, it's easier for me to understand it in a big block of meat than it is a big chunk of cake. But I mean, now that you're talking about what goal setting, right? So what are the goals that you have now that, let's say, for example, you look back and in retrospect, right, with your mentality now, you would have gone, I would have crushed this a long time ago, man. Why did I wait till now?
So you're asking, like, what are some goals that I actually crushed? Is that the question?
Well, yeah, you could some of the goals that you crushed now, right? At the same time, were some of them kind of delayed along the way that you procrastinated, but you eventually cleared them?
Right. So I mean, overall, uh, I guess it was a long drawn process. I think the issue with the past, actually, I didn't even set any goals.
Ah, okay. So that's also a big problem now.
Yeah, so you just you know they always say life is the grind. You just go through the machine. You go up go out human in one end and get spit out as meat on the other end. So
Mm.
you after a while you become part of the system. You don't set goals. You wake up, you go to work, you go home, hopefully you find one or two hobbies that you enjoy or that one thing.
It's so miserable doing that, man. Seriously, if anybody out there is listening to this right now, okay, I hope you are. And if you have absolutely no goals, right, of what you want to do tomorrow or what you want to do next week or even next month, or even having that little dream of where you want to go on a holiday, right? Those are all little goals. And if you don't have that, seriously, you got to wake up and you got to plan it right now.
Mm. Yeah, it's absolutely very true. You need to have some goals in your life, but again, a lot of times I think the struggle is either you set goals that are not beneficial for you in the long run, beneficial in the sense that it doesn't grow you mentally, not just physically, but mentally, spiritually, or in your character. Or you don't set any goals at all. As I say, you go in the machine one end and come out meet the other end. So because you build this cycle, wake up, work, go home, spend time with friends,
Mm.
go do the hobby, and that's it. And a day become a week become a month become year, and year become year. So after a while you discover like shit, man, where did the time go? So you just wasted your time. Or the first one I see, you set goals that is a very common goal, especially in countries that's like growing, or I should say, like a better term, first world or booming country. That you what do most people chase after? You chase after money and
Yeah.
material stuff, which is not wrong. I don't think the saying money doesn't buy you happiness is totally true. It can't buy you all the happiness. It can buy. It's going to be controversial. I think that it can't buy you all the happiness, but it can buy you some or kind of most of the happiness.
It's true. It's true because money at the end of the day is a tool or a resource that can lead you to what you deem as of an item of happiness of sorts or representation or material of happiness. Yes.
Yeah,
Now it's getting spiritual already.
spiritual. Not too spiritual lah, but I mean, at the end of the day, you think about it, you can be you can be happy and contented with not a lot of money,
Mm.
but having a bit more also can make your life more comfortable. But the tricky part is what is a bit more and what is comfortable, because enough is never enough.
Yep.
So that is the challenge where people need to find. But what happens is we tend to chase after material gains, and we chase, and there never is an end to it. It's like the story I heard before, like there was a okay, I'm going to go into the story. So there's a king that was very unhappy, and once day he was walking out, he saw a farmer that was very, very happy. So he couldn't understand because the farmer was dirt poor and had nothing. So he went back to his palace and asked about like advisor, like, why is this guy happy? Oh, he's happy because he's contented in life. Then the king said, how can that be? He has nothing but he's happy. Then the advisor said, do you want to know how you can make him unhappy? So basically the advice is he told the king, you go and throw 99 gold pieces into his field and you see what happens. So you throw 99 pieces. The king did that. So the farmer went on five. He saw one, then he said, whoa, there's gold here. Then he walked around and see there's some more. Eventually he found 99 pieces. Then he became very happy initially. Then after a while he discovered that cannot be 99. There must be one missing piece because people do think in round figure, ma. No 99 piece one. It's
Mm.
not 99 red balloons, so must be 100. So he went to find, couldn't find. He said it must be somewhere. He dig up all the dirt, he destroyed all his crops and still couldn't find it. And he ended up with nothing, and everything was destroyed because he was looking for that one piece of gold. So the moral of the story that sometimes having money is not happy, but having money, not having money, how should I say this in the right way? You must be contented and know when to stop lah.
Yeah. You know when you must know that enough is enough. When that enough factor is, anything more than that is just a bonus.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
again, the world is getting more. The changes are coming faster and faster. I do feel certain jobs will be gone. There will be creation of new jobs, and what that may be very skillful or making a lot of money today may vanish tomorrow. So we need to constantly improve ourselves, and two, we also need to know not to chase after material wealth all the time. I use the term all the time because again, we cannot be. Then we go the flip side, say don't chase after. Don't have anything the best. Which I
Right.
think also don't make so much sense. But I mean, to each his own now, whichever you find happiness in. But I think that we can always achieve more if we put our mind to it.
Right. And how do you set your goals then?
Uh, right now, I would say I'm kind of in a limbo because my initial goals I've already set already, and I'm doing it every day. I mean, my daily goal is to wake up, go to the gym, work out, do my work, everything. But in terms of long term wise, I'm still trying to see what is the best fit for myself. I'm, I, of course, I do want to see if I can achieve more in my financial health and for myself, for my family. Again, the process, how do I want to achieve it? I recognize I have certain skill sets which is applicable in certain areas. I'm sure I can do other stuff, but the question is the long term happiness of not my happiness, but my mental happiness. Because as I said, I believe I can do anything if I put my mind to it. But whether I can do it well and happiness is a different issue, lah.
Mm.
So I don't want to end up in a situation where I put myself into a meat grinder again. So and once you go through that process, you actually set yourself back by a couple of years again to restart again.
Yeah.
It can be detrimental to you, but then again, the flip side is you never try, you never know. So I'm also pretty much in a limbo on how should I proceed for my years ahead. So again, it's a struggle that you go through every day. It's kind of like running a business. One of my ex-bosses once shared with me that she told me that running a bosses is always a struggle. Every day is a struggle. If you're running your business and it's successful now, your struggle is to try to keep it successful and innovative and keep changing with times. And if let's say your business not doing well now, then you're struggling to see how to keep it afloat. So there's never not a struggle when you're running a business. So I guess that's the same for life. You want to try to constantly improve and find new ways to grow, and you don't want to just stay in stasis all the time.
Mm. Yeah. The way that I've always been doing goal setting, I mean, just to share, is that I would always do it in the same way as I would my time management, right? It's not on a daily basis. Yes, we go through blocks of time, so set aside for different things, different people, right? But in terms of overall time in 24 hours a day, is for yourself, your friends, your family, and of course, your passions for self-improvement or just whatever it is that you want to do, right? And of course whatever spiritual thing that you go into. All right, it's always broken up into these five things, and these are the same five factors that I always put in for individual goals, right? Contrary to popular belief, I don't like smart goals. The whole specific, measurable, blah blah blah, that smart goal tool, right? Heard it
Why
before?
is it so? Yeah, why is it so?
Why is it so? Because the thing is that it never, so far, just personally, okay, I'm sure that the system works for other people, but for me, I don't like smart goals because it doesn't touch my heart. A smart goal is a very, very specific thing. And once it ends up becoming so specific, my heart is no longer there, but it becomes too cerebral. I think it too much, but I don't feel it anymore. And that's the thing. Some people a little bit more on the emotional side of things when it comes to goal setting. Why do I want to do this podcast? Why do I want you on this podcast? Why do we want to, help each other and do other things? It's not humanitarian work, but it's something that's within you, within the same, what makes your heart beat. These are the things that keep you going. And no smart goal that you tell me is going to say that, I'm going to help this number of people by this time. It's like, hell no, I'm just going to do this because I want this number of people to get it. I want to be able to share that, and eventually the universe will take care of it by itself, as long as you walk that path. It doesn't matter how long it takes, but we just got to keep walking that path.
Right. I guess I see two points of your opinion. One is I uh, I feel sometimes we need to see things as more of guiding principle than gospel truth.
Mm,
That's one thing. So as you say, it may not work for you. It may work for others. Yeah, maybe because you don't feel that the principles apply so clear. It relates so well to you. That's one thing.
right.
And secondly, I also think that you only get the right answers if you're asking the right question, and asking the right question is the hard part. So
True.
the smart is a guiding principle. It's really like a guiding principle
It's
to
a
help you to
framework lah. It's
a
just a
framework to
framework.
help you achieve the answer. But the question is, you must ask the right question first,
Mm.
or ask the more specific and relevant question. But that's really the struggle, lah. I mean, to bring back to the point of my own personal goals, not to sound patronizing, I really do think that whatever I do
It's
now, anybody can
patronizing
do.
actually.
Patronizing. Yeah, thanks, man. English accent. Patronizing, but whatever I do now, I do think is a very entry level thing. It's something not difficult. Anybody can achieve it. You want to go gym in the morning? I wake up first alarm 5. I get the gym around between 5:30, 5:45. You can do it too. Just set alarm, wake up lah. Just get yourself out of bed. You want to have a side hustle? You find something to do after work. You want to work out after work? Go do for it. Start a podcast. You just go to the shop and buy yourself the equipment, all the information. Just Google online, get everything, and just do it.
Mm.
So I think it's all very, very basic things. So I want to move on the next level, but the question is, I haven't reached the correct question yet. I'm still trying to find what the correct question.
It's about
I
your
mean,
motivation, isn't it? What is the motivation now? And the thing is that what do you have in mind, and what is that motivation for you to do it?
mm, uh, the struggle now is basically, see, you're a family man like me.
Mm-hmm.
In the back of our mind, the worry is always one, in no particular order, one, personal development and career growth, right? That's one thing. Financial stability for the family, and most importantly is, at least for me, is building up good characters in my children. Yeah. So the tricky part always is there is a trade-off between time spent and financial growth. There is no two way about it. But if you want to, like anything else, if you want to build time in your children or help them to grow, you need to put in time and effort and energy to grow them. Then you have to take this time from somewhere. Time is not going to magically appear.
Agreed.
If you want to grow your career or take on certain uh, other roles that allow you to live a better life that pays you a bit more, then again, like with the children, you need to put in time, effort, energy, and this time you need to cut from somewhere else. So finding the balance on how much I want to be out working and yet being able to be there to co-raise my kid with my wife, and being there for them when they need me is the tricky part. Yeah, that's the real tricky part about how I want to proceed on. And
Right.
henceforth, that's why I decided to go on this social media, this podcasting platform. I do think there is a future to it. However, I'm also very clear cut that a podcast, like any other business, most businesses fail instead of succeed. So I don't come in with the mindset that, look, I'm going to be the biggest show on earth or what. I don't even have a monetizing plan. Actually, I come in and I see it as a hobby that I do on the side. If people pick it up, pick it up. If not, I'll just keep doing it as much as possible until I reach a day that I feel that I've given enough to it and I don't want to do it anymore. Then I'll just stop. And that's basically it. So that's the main
Dude,
struggle.
you're on the right track. That's honestly what I think, because fact of the matter is that both you and I are just trying this out, right? We're putting it out there because not because we want to make money from it, but because we want to do it. And I think that's the biggest motivation. Because like what you're doing, if you go to the gym every day, but if you didn't want to get the gains, you didn't want to get fitter, and there's no point. Eventually you just go, screw it lah. Why do I need to keep going to the gym? You'll just drop it, right? With like a ton of bricks, and you just walk off. Right? It's the same thing. You have the motivation, you want to do that. The next level will probably unravel itself, when you see the need. But in terms of the kids, what you want to teach them, honestly, I've got a thought of involving the child in some of this podcasting from time to time. What a 6-year-old can teach you about life, what a 9-year-old can teach you about life. And not only that, by showing them a part of this lifestyle to some extent, right, it also gives them a certain appreciation. They don't appreciate it now, right? They're just like, oh, it's so boring. Why are you just sitting here just talking to yourself all the time? It's like, yeah, I was lonely as a kid. Anyway, then the thing is that it teaches them consistency. It teaches them certain a level of commitment that you need to, and sharing those goals with them. As it is right now, I'm teaching I'm teaching Dylan, right, my own kid, about some financial literacy. And then he asked me, why do I need to know this? I said, because you don't want to be broke as your dad. Because I'm broke, son. Like, you think money just falls from the sky? I'm broke as shit. Right?
Yeah,
Every day you're like, you want to eat this and you want to eat that. I'm like, yeah, cool. You sure, you go eat it, right? But you got to make that buckle fly somewhere else. Where am I going to get the money done? So it's not that I want to be like, Mr. Scrooge with the boy, but he also has to understand that with all these commitments, I literally told him what I did, why my finances are completely in a wreck, but why we are working toward this, and given X number of years, we're going to be a lot better. So, but it's not the gambling mindset, just one more lah, it's not so much of that, but it's involving him in, although it sounds terrible, we're giving adult problems to children, but if we don't tell them what the adult world is going to be like, then it's going to be tough for them to pick it up too.
Yeah, I do think that's very important, because I also do share my kids. They ask me like, what I'm always coming back, then going back to work again. I told them, look, okay, money doesn't grow on trees. If you want to live the life they're living now, you need to put in the hours and you need to work for it. It doesn't happen by chance or by occurrence. So that's very important.
Analogy is lost on kids. Money doesn't grow on trees. Then they literally see, then why is this one called a money plant? Like,
that's where it goes back.
Ass.
It goes back to your point that I need to ask you, that you asked me on my show. So when they say stuff like that, do you beat them when they're young so they develop character, or do you beat them when they're older so they develop wealth?
Okay, let's put it this way. When they're younger, okay, you can beat them to the punch. All right, when you're older, your reaction time is not so good. So teach them when they're young. Leave an impression, like physically an impression, be it in the skull or anything else. Now, these are all jokes. We do not condone child beating, right? Unless you are.
Anyway, so so I do share my kids. So I do share my kids. I mean that everything costs money, and I think they do start to understand that everything costs money, and but it's still a very long road. It is a slow grow process. You want to give them enough awareness without robbing their childhood, because the world is, I do feel the world is actually a very dark and depressing place. As wise who are rocky, it will punch you and keep you down if you don't stand up. But you try to see the positive side, and try to see the silver lining everywhere. I always say that you try to see the silver lining everywhere. No matter how bad it is, it always can get worse. So that's what adopting a positive mindset is about. I over this few months, or over this challenge period where I start developing this change mindset, I really do acknowledge that you choose to be positive or not. Happiness really is a choice. So you really need to develop mindset.
Yeah. And one thing that you said on your podcast the last time as well, it was really good, is that you needed to be around people. You really, really needed to be around people. If you're by yourself, right, no amount of positive energy will keep you going for a super, super long period of time. Not everybody can be that survivor guy, right, who just stays out in the wilderness by himself. Or staying in his own log cabin for the last 40 years or something like that by himself. He still has to go to town. He still has to go and see people. And this energy, right, rubs off onto other people, and likewise onto you as well. So it's that give and take, it's that sharing and that flow, whether or not you want to call it that chi flow or anything like that. But it really is, you gotta just let it go and share that, like what you're doing with me.
Yeah, again, it boils back to the part about having small wins. You can be the guy living in a cabin by yourself, but you need time to build that up. You can't do it tomorrow and just try you go mad. So it really is a slow building process. Taking it a step at a time, a small win at a time, and constantly developing yourself to get. If that is your goal, then you have to work towards it. Again, because we're in an instant gratification society, I feel at times. So you don't want to put in the work anymore. Why put in the work when you can get the answer immediately?
Mm.
Yeah. So that's really a struggle which I feel that I do notice. I've known of people who have effectively been jobless since they graduated from school because they did not want to risk anything. For them, it's like if they see that there's no confirm win, then they wouldn't want to do it. So why risk it? They only want to do things that they know they're certain of achieving. So but then by not doing anything means that you never achieve anything in your life. So what's the point about that? Sometimes it's better to go and give it a shot than not do anything at all. And I think we had this conversation after my podcast. It's gonna sound harsh, but at times we are too lazy. Life has got too easy for us to become too lazy. We really need to go out and put the work. I'm not saying everybody is, but yeah. So that's one of the things that I do notice. So part of the reason why I'm still continue working out early in the morning is hopefully I can encourage people to work out. I have a few of my friends that I drop message on a somewhat constant basis, asking them how are they, if they are doing their daily workout or their weekly workout, just to encourage them. And I'm trying to encourage people to do it. Yeah, so that's basically it. And whenever I miss a workout, I do get pretty harsh on myself, and it feels like I owe myself money. Yeah, so that's the reason why I still continue to maintain this 5 o'clock workout. I don't actually need to do it anymore. Other than the fact that my membership is still on for another good, I think 3/4 of a year or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, on the point of beating yourself up, right, over these things that you missed, you skip, or you did wrongly. Um, uh, uh, some people, I think, have told me about this, and they say that you're guilt tripping yourself. But being the glutton for punishment that I am at times, I would never see it as guilt tripping myself. But it's because I expect more of myself. I desire myself to be at the next level or something like that. It would never be that I'm guilt tripping myself. Oh man, you're lousy, you're this and that. No, it's like you missed it, and that's why you're missing the chance to move there. There's a
Right.
difference in mentality altogether.
Yeah, I fully agree. I mean, there's
The
levels
framing
to
is
it.
different.
Yeah, you're not. You wouldn't say that you're punishing yourself or degrading or belittling yourself, but you need to see it as like you need to have certain standards and expectation for yourself, and you don't achieve it. Then you need to ask yourself, why is it the standard too high? Did you set the wrong standard, or you just didn't achieve it because you choose not to do it? Then that's where you need to be harsh. We need to be harsh on ourselves at times. The reason is we become so feeling and so kind and nice to everybody. We should be considerate to other people's feelings and care for others, but we need to be harsh on ourselves at times. We sometimes let ourselves go too easily. And and take for example weight gain. I hope it doesn't come and bite me in the ass in the future. but but like okay, here's a habit that you should try. Maybe not every day, but maybe weigh yourself every week and monitor your weight gains. If you put on weight 1 kg in a month, or I should say, okay, you put on 1 kg in half a year may not seem a lot, but if you put it in perspective, 1 kg in half a year is 2 kg in a year. 2 kg in a year, in 5 years, you're gonna put on 10 kg, and this way is gonna get harder to lose. If you don't monitor yourself and be harsh yourself, look, okay, I'm letting myself slide, I need to watch myself, then you just let yourself go, and the slope is slippery and long. It can go all the way. And by the time it gets to the bottom, it's going to be a very long climb up.
Yeah.
So we need to be realistic with ourselves. If you're sleeping, we don't want to say you're sleeping. Yeah.
Right. Chickadee, check yourself before you wreck yourself. That's the deal. All right. So that being said, all right, when it comes to working out and all that, right now, your particular lifestyle at this point in time, do you follow that whole 7 hours to 9 hours of sleep, or it doesn't really matter to you, and you're still able to wake up at 5 something in the morning and go bust your ass out, in the gym and everything?
I don't follow strictly. I would say Rarely I achieve 7 hours of sleep. Normally I go to bed around between 10:30 to 11. First alarm will go off depending on day. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, the first alarm at 5 a.m. Sunday is the day I sleep in a bit more, so I get a bit more rest. Then Tuesday and Thursday, I have a class that I need to teach at 6:30 in the morning. So every day is an early day. Tuesday and Thursday and Sunday are the days that I sleep a bit more. I think on average I get around 6 hours. I try to get six, sometimes five. I'm trying to sleep earlier so I can get a bit more sleep, but I'm perpetually tired. I can't sit down. I shared before. I can't sit down and do nothing for like a few minutes. I'll start to doze off. So I need to constantly find something to do and to keep me awake. So that's not very good actually. But as I said, uh, I think the discipline to sleep earlier is a bit harder. So I need to work on that.
Yeah, the amount of sleep is actually very important. I mean, you know this in terms of your research and everything. If you don't sleep enough, then it's detrimental for muscle health in general, right?
I think overall health,
Mm,
mental health also, and your general physical health. Let's
right.
not even talk about your physical well-being. I think rest is very important. But yeah, if you set your mind to it, you can achieve it. But you shouldn't put yourself in a constant state of sleep deprivation because
Yeah. Constant
long-term
state of
effect.
stress, right? It's
Yeah.
like battle stress almost. You also need to be able to declutter your brain, defrag it if in more of computer terms. But that's what REM
Yeah,
sleep is about, decluttering
yeah.
it.
And I think the as you said, muscle recovery or only happens in deep sleep. So if you don't recover well enough, but yeah, so I still try to sleep early, but I'll wake up and just grind out the workout and just go to work after that. So actually no, I don't go to work after that. I need to bring my kid to school, then I go to work. So my
Oh
days
shit!
are
So that means you go work out, you come home, and you bring the kid to school, then you go to work.
yeah, that's the reason why I have to work out so early also because
Mm.
I want to walk him to school every morning to at least spend that time with him. Then from there I go straight to work. So he need to be in school by 7. His school starts at 7:40, but we aim to reach school around 7:25, 7:30, give and take. So it's some time to cool down everything. So that's why I really do it really early, like 5:30, 5:40, reach the gym, work out for an hour and go home and prepare to go to work.
Nice. So, okay, big shout out to those who are doing the Stronghold Challenge. So, if you're keen on doing something like that, all right, just check it out on Insta and Facebook and whatever it is that it's out there. Hashtag Stronghold Challenge, right? Or is it Stronghold Fitness?
Stronghold Fitness Challenge is on hold right now. Hopefully, once we go back to not a new normal but old normal, then we'll start it again. And
Dude, the new normal is here. There's no two ways about it, man. Everybody's still gonna, when I was watching the movie Ultraviolet, it's on Netflix, right? That Mia Jovovich movie.
yep.
Everybody's wearing a mask, right, with this crazy ass disease and stuff. So it started making sense to some extent. Everybody's wearing masks, walking around, and it's a different society. So interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a very big struggle. We're not sure if the vaccine will be here to stay because viruses and mutate all the time. So once they mutate, the vaccine may not hold water anymore, and that's the struggle.
Yeah, we'll just
And
have to take it one day at a time, lah. But I mean, people are still going back to the gym, right? It's not like everything's stopping. I mean, overseas, okay. I think many places outside of Singapore are also adopting very safe measures, but they still have karate classes, they still have jujitsu classes, wrestling classes. All these tournaments are still happening, right?
yeah, it's going to be a slow eventual open, but I'm sure that it will open eventually, like, just a matter of when. But yeah, so once it open, hopefully we rehash the challenge again. But let's see how it goes, lah. I mean, anything and everything can happen. The meteor might hit tomorrow, and everything will end.
All right. So big shout out, Ron. You want to give a shout out to anybody and also just tell us what you've been up to and how they can connect with you on social media if they'd be keen on training or information or just joining in your podcast.
Well, you can find me, Uncle UNKKLE_Ron, on Instagram, Facebook. You can find me at Ron Ng. My podcast is Mouth Bouts. with Unkkle Ron. You can just find it on YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts, and Podbean. You can look for me there. And that's basically it. If you all have any question, you can always DM me through Instagram. And that's it. I don't think pretty much any other way to hit me up. Yeah.
Or you could also write into me and then I'll just give you a straight up number. All right. And then you can give Ron a call and this guy will tell you how you are screwing things up for yourself and you got to get shit done.
It's a 1-800 number that costs $2 a minute, non-refundable, not tax deductible.
That's why they call it self-help.
Helping yourself.
You're paying somebody else to tell you that you need to help yourself.
Yeah, better check yourself before you wreck yourself, man.
I can't finish up that sentence. I cannot. Anyway, thanks so much for sharing all this information.
Thanks for having me on, man. I wanted to ask you a question. So how about you, man? How are you? Are you keeping up your work? Have you been working out? I see you have a punch pad on the wall in the back. Do you?
Yeah, son. I still work out 4 times a day, ranging from kettlebells, dumbbells, and a little bit of calisthenics from time to time, bodyweight exercises and all that.
4 times a day. Don't joke, man.
I'm trying to maintain the weight at about 65. So as you know, it does fluctuate up and down a little bit. But the good thing is, at least when it goes up, it comes back down, right? Sometimes, and it's nice to know. Fact of the matter is that I haven't been running. That's the only thing. But weird, right? Like back in the day when we were in service, I used to run a lot more than you. And now you hated running, but now you're running like every day, almost every day.
Yeah, I took a break recently because I really can't cover any more time to go running. But I've added the assault bike, the fan bike into my workout now, so that's a new level of suck.
Right.
But yeah, I used to hate running. I hated it. I think running is one of those things that the more you do, the slightly easier it becomes and the better it becomes. So it's just a constant grab. Keep doing. Then you learn to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Or your knees will buckle, whichever comes first.
Correct. No, it's at that point whereby you just keep running and then you stop telling yourself, like what you said, David Goggins, right? Saying it's your inner bitch, just telling, it hurts, I should stop, my lungs are on fire, I can't breathe. This like you just stop telling yourself this and you just start to let it zone out and you start to look around at other things or listen to your music. You just go. And then you start telling yourself, hey, I'm running a little bit further than I did before. I've made an achievement, and that just carries on. That positivity just completely eradicates the pain. It doesn't eradicate the pain, but it gets rid of the negativity for sure.
Yeah,
so it works for me, at least.
Yeah, I do feel at times working out is really one of the first things you need to do about working out. Of course, you need to be in better shape, so you work towards better shape. And the second thing is for things that are long cardio, sometimes you need to learn how to zone out. Like one of the things I always tell people, like how to get better at skipping. So one, you skip more to get used to it, and number two, you need to learn how to zone out and just not put your mind on a time frame anymore. Just start to daydream or you skip once you get a rhythm. So it becomes a lot more bearable.
Right, like what Muhammad Ali says, he doesn't count his sit-ups until the pain kicks in, then he starts counting.
I'm the greatest.
I'm the greatest.
Are you excited for this Tyson fight?
Yeah, man. It's wait, is he still going against Roy Jones Jr. or is he or is Shannon Briggs coming in?
I don't know. I haven't read the news yet. Last I heard was
Roy Jones. Go, champ!
I'm not sure if there's any new news.
Well, I'm gonna have to go find out about that. Now, before we end the podcast, right, I always have this little questionnaire that in 10 questions, the audience should be able to get to know you really quickly. It's a rapid fire session, so I've got these questions for you. Are you ready?
Can I curse?
If you want to, yes. All right. Now, so Ron Ng with the EPIC questionnaire. Question 1. One word that you love the most.
Discipline.
One word that you dislike the most.
Cannot.
If you could have a conversation with one person, fictional, non-fictional, dead or alive, who would that be?
Wow, that's a bummer. It's supposed to be a quick answer question, but I'm stumped. One person. I really don't know, man.
It could be anybody.
Uh,
Some people
oh
have said
God.
Jesus.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, that would be nice, but I really don't know. I don't know. Maybe
That's why I said fictional or non-fictional.
fictional or non-fictional.
I'm cutting that part out, so it's okay.
Maybe Gandalf then.
Gandalf.
Yeah,
Interesting.
because I want to know why he said, "Fly, you fools!"
Okay. And what do you say to yourself in the morning, in the mirror every morning?
This is what I say to myself in the bed when I wake up every morning, not in the mirror. I say, 5 more minutes of snoozing is not going to make a difference.
Favorite dish to eat?
Sweet sour pork.
Favorite travel spot?
Thailand.
And where would the next travel spot be for you and your family for when borders open up? Family vacation.
Maybe Tokyo, I guess.
Tokyo. Nice. Something in the arts that you always wanted to do but have yet to do so.
Something that I always want to do. Learn to play and play a musical instrument.
Anything in particular?
I think piano.
Wow.
I took short lessons before, but I didn't finish it. So piano.
This one's just for you. Favorite martial arts submission?
I would say armbar then.
Armbar, sweet. I know it's always been the armbar. And what does retirement look like to you?
Still working and still working out, I hope. Yeah.
But at your own pace, I assume.
Yeah, at my own pace lah. I don't think work will ever end.
Okay. And how do you want to be remembered? What's your legacy?
Crazy man with no moderation but cares for his friends.
That should fit on a tombstone nicely. Now, with that, that marks the end of this week's episode. So again, check out Mouth Bouts with Unkkle Ron. All right. Check out Ron Ng Instagram and Facebook links, and links to his podcast will all be in the details below. So thanks for making it all the way to the end, and stay epic. We'll see you next week.
Yep. Thank you, man. Bye.